Good morning, guys. Dan here with Tradingology.com Trading Room for February 20th, 2020. How you guys doing this fine morning? We'll just get it rolling. People are starting to truck in. Just taking a look at the first half hour here. We had a lot of, came out right in the middle, right on the 50 line, but then we have moved up, which is talking about our move up that we're currently seeing here. We will unmute Mr. Dave. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Oops, I need to mute Brad. There we go. I think I'm good. So, Mexico.
Good times. We survived.
Yeah. That's good.
Sorry for missing you guys on Tuesday. We got back in late Monday, so I wasn't quite ready for the trading room Tuesday morning.
Man, you had an awesome picture in there. I mean, it was absolutely, man, that was just such a cool picture with you and Jess. It was just amazing. If you have the opportunity to share, I'm sure the rest of the crew would love to see it.
Yeah, we'll sneak those. I'll find that file here. I know it's not too far away. Got a couple good ones. We did some interesting adventures while we had 3 nights of concerts.
Beautiful.
Down in Cancun. So,
Wow.
one was we went on this adventure for the cave, and here's a zoom in that I used for my new profile pics on a couple of places where I'm rappelling down. Woohoo! We went about 50 feet down into this cave.
50 feet, man, it seems like a lot.
It turns out we thought we were just going to this cave adventure to go look at underwater caves, which is pretty cool. Turns out we ran like a triathlon. We had to mountain bike, we had to swim, we had to run.
Oh my gosh.
But we had to walk.
Wow.
It was really fun though.
Oh, that's good.
The other one that Dave's talking about is here's us in the cave. So he gave us wetsuits. It's all, there was parts where you couldn't touch. It was fantastic in this place.
Yeah, that's a great picture. That's awesome.
That's that better half.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, that's wow, that was quite the adventure.
So if you ever get a chance, get down to Cancun and check out Rio Secreto. There's my plug for the day. I get nothing for it. All right. Yeah, it looked like we opened up pretty much right in the middle there. It was buried right on the 50 line on both the XL and the internals. And then we have started to move up since, as you called out as well.
Yeah, real-time update service. We did I went long MYM here. We're right at the 29,314 level where I went long. And on MYM, that is, not YM. But yeah, it looks like we're going higher. All the market internals this morning look like they were going positive. We've got the up and down volume moving higher. We got the advanced decline started off negative, but it moved higher as well above that 0 line. I made a note in the RTUS that there is no bearish herding from yesterday, no bullish herding either, but there's more bullish herding recently. But there's no bearish herding. But MT volatility is above 100%, but we need that bearish herding to confirm, and we didn't get it.
Yeah, it looks like there's one bull trying to come in for today, looking at the live daily chart.
Yep, just so we've got bullish herding. We got mostly bullish herding going back there on the daily for quite a while here, and I don't think it's going to stop. We don't have it in the first column yet. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it is in the first column.
It's just starting to draw in right now, yeah.
Yep, so we got good strong volume, good internals. So we're probably going to go higher. On my daily chart for, where is it? On the Dow, I put a Fibonacci, which is has not been terribly useful. Not terribly useful because we keep exceeding all of the different levels. but I have, in fact, if you want to, I'll share my screen.
Sure, I can trade up here. There you go.
I have found that, let's see, where is it? Here we go.
Good morning, Stephen, by the way. Snuck in there. Didn't see your comment.
You see that okay?
Yep, I gotcha.
All right, so I've been using unconventional extensions on the Fibonacci rather than the typical Fibonacci levels. I go 25, 50, 75, 100, 150, and then 300. What's kind of interesting is we hit 300% of gains, and this goes back to the 2008 financial crisis, 2008, 2009, right at the bottom. And we are now, I mean, we've been in this uptrend channel. We hit it exactly at 300%. So it was 29,568 in the high, which was the high of the close last week, or the high last week was 29,568.57, exactly. Wow. To the penny.
Interesting.
So yeah, I'm kind of looking at that level now. So 29,568. It's obvious we're going higher today, but we're about 120 points away from that right now. So I'm kind of looking at that as my next short position. I went short. I was short the market last Wednesday at the close. I got 125 points on Thursday. I got 25 on Friday, and I got and I got out. So I missed a little bit, but I said no, it's going higher because there's no bearish hurting. If you looked at the market timer sheets. So right now, I'm looking at another potential short position. Now we've also crossed this channel line. So we're above the channel line. We're at a 300% extension. We have a very nice clear channel here. Now these breaks in the channel line, sometimes they can spell a lot of momentum to the upside. So I'm not gonna go all in if it gets back up to this 29,568 level. But I would take a nibble and put on a little position. It reminds me a little bit of this one right here. That was back in January of 2018. Big run up. We just barely, not barely, actually with this little line here, it just cut below that peak on that trend line. But now that we've established that trend line, it's a little bit higher, but it did peak through there and it reversed very, very quickly. That was the big one. I don't know if you remember, but I was basically all in on that one.
Oh yeah, I remember that one well.
Yeah, in fact, I think I've updated the Tradingology website. That was the series I did.
The market crash day 7 or so, or 7.
Yes, market crash day 1, day 2, day 3. I chronicled the entire the daily trades during that time period. I could do something actually like that again. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah, I remember it well because I was on a trip and I missed out on part of that. I'm more cautious when I travel.
Yeah, well, actually, it's about the same time of year because it was back in January. Was that the first time you went to Mexico for the concert?
That was actually a different one. We went last year.
Oh, okay.
We didn't go that year.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I mean, I made more money in that decline than, wow. I mean, that was a good 2 years worth of profits right there. And I think we're coming up close to another very, very good opportunity here. You see this kind of rise here was very, very smooth. I mean, it was really, really a very, very smooth run. The run that we had since December of 2018 was not quite as smooth. It's been very jagged. A lot more volatility there. I'm not sure what that means, but I think we're getting very, very close to another potential short. Now the other thing is we could run right up to that 30,000 level, which is only another 422 points away, 32 points away. We could run it right up to that.
Yeah, they could do that in a day if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Steven's making a comment, similar thing there, where he's talking about March of 2018 that we saw. That's exactly what we're talking about, Steven. And looking at the spreadsheets, I can pull them back up when I share again, but or if Dave has them open, you can definitely pull them up to the market timer spreadsheets and what we're talking about there.
No, I don't have it open, but the yeah, that well, this in January, February, then right at the bottom there was just right in here, but it was quite a bit of volatility in there. But this is a weekly chart. We had 2 really, really strong down weeks. That was those are the weeks I think we went down 4%.
Yeah, that was a 2 back-to-back days, or not back-to-back days, but the 2 days that were over the 4%. Yep.
We broke that low back here in December of 2018. So we did get a lower low out of it, but didn't hold. And that's when this is the period right here from about September, October, and through December, where the Fed was raising rates. Market did not like that. And then, of course, they reversed course, did an about face. Powell, instead of being
instead of sticking to his guns,
and he did an about face and said, "No, we're going to lower them," because he saw this is kind of a mess. They want to keep the market, in my opinion, they want to keep the market as high as possible going into the election. Doesn't mean that we're not going to have a nice little sell-off here, maybe down into this level. You know, nice little 50% of this last leg would be right about in here. Let me do a fib on that, because I got my 50%er up here. Zoom in a little bit. So 50% is going to bring us right into this level here at 25,596 or so. Oops, wrong chart. Trying to look around my microphone. I keep clicking the wrong place. There we go. Yeah, so that 50% level is at 628, 25. So that's a good, you know, that's a good 4,000 points right there. I wouldn't be surprised if we came down to that level and then we went higher into the elections.
And if you look at when that started, that's an interesting timing. If you hold your mouse back over that, what right in the middle there at that 25 level.
25. Oh, these all reset. What happened here? I didn't get my.
No, they don't stick on you.
Oh, that's all right. What are you talking about?
Just to the left of there. Yeah, that one that looks like right around when they started the not QE.
Oh, yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was September. They started that not QE program, which if you haven't seen a chart recently, the amount of non-QE that they're doing is like 4 times larger than what they did in 2008 and 2009.
And I heard there was yet another announcement of the extension through what, April or something?
Yeah, they keep pushing it out. I think it's permanent now. It's just permanent.
Which is really interesting, and it goes to Stephen. I'll make a comment when I come back to my screen that you're talking about there with different events and peaks, and just different things that we've seen in the volatility arbitrage strategy as well since this has started.
Oh yeah, that is insane. I mean, well, it's starting to turn up a little bit now, which also gives me an idea here.
And I think we probably hit the 3 level overnight.
Yeah. And we're starting to move higher. So, yeah, so if I adjust this, I've got it at 3.08. Of course, that's on the futures. So if I go to 3.02 on the cash, it's probably better. I'm out of pocket. There we go. Yeah, so it's on the futures, it's 3.02. Probably on the cash, it is 3.0. I'd bet. And we're starting to turn higher. Looks like we got a little base here, but we've had it a couple of different times. Hasn't really panned out. But normally what happens, right, is when that starts to move higher, when the YMNQ starts to move higher, that means that they're dumping technology stocks to go into the safer industrials. And the tech stocks have had an incredible run here over the last few months because it's the risk on, right? So we've got the Fed printing money. A lot of that money is going into new technology stocks and that sector. And so when I see this turning up, almost like the VIX, kind of a little early indication of the VIX maybe, we see this start to move up. We got technology stocks going to taking profits and then a rotation back into industrials. And that would coincide with a top if I see a little double top here, right at that 29,568 level would be a very nice shorting opportunity.
Yep, and that would definitely coincide with typically we see the market go down when the spread goes up, just as you're saying, since the tech stocks are the ones that are taking the bigger hit.
Yep, that's exactly right. So we see this typically start to move higher when, and it's inverse to the market. Because that NQ is where a lot of the, we see that going down, YM going up. It almost always occurs. So the NQ will go down faster than the YM because it's a higher beta, right? And more volatility. And so when the spread starts to go up, we'll probably see a decline in the market. So nice little leading indicator there that I've been using the VA spread in a different way.
Mm-hmm, definitely. And it is continuing up right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So if it continues to go a little bit higher, that's a great indication.
And speaking of the YMNQ spreadsheet, we did have a double top basically at a -12, which has not happened since like 2017 that it's been that high on the negative side.
Wow.
And we also had, I think it's nine straight days of negative results on a daily basis, which has not happened as well since 2017. Typically we see it's the 4 to 7 before it reverses, and we're 9 days straight as of yesterday. Now today we're positive right now.
Wow. Okay.
Lots of indicators for that reversal.
Yeah.
The only difference being that we've seen is we've been in this continual down spread ever since I'll just keep calling it non-QE.
Yeah, and it's been strong. Let me go out to a 4 hour here.
You could almost have just taken a short position and just let it go. And even though there's 2, 4, 6 days out of it that went positive, you'd still be in that like -8% gains.
Yeah, look how strong this has been. This is probably the strongest downturn I have seen in ever.
Yeah, it's the most that we've ever seen since we've been tracking this.
Yeah, it started right in here, which is September 27th.
Imagine that.
Yeah, right at QE. So whatever money they printed, it went right into tech stocks.
And that's where it continues to go. That's why we've seen the difference where we normally would typically see the oscillations, right? Positive to negative.
Right.
With all this pumping of money, it's just staying negative because everything's going into those tech stocks.
Yeah.
So does that help, Stephen, with what you were talking about there? I think that's down the right path that you were looking. Yeah, the multiple peaks on the 8th column, just because of all of this easing.
Yeah, very interesting. So, yeah, lots of value in that spread. I think is as some sort of an indicator, and it's just amazing. On September 27th, it started going lower. It's pretty crazy. I'll hand it back over to you.
Right on. Yeah, Stephen, the key there is if you're on, if you're ever looking to go long, just be quick trigger finger. Like today was a decent setup. Wasn't perfect, but it was, we're seeing more things indicated. So, but you don't want to be in it long term right now. I wouldn't do any swing trades for long, at least not with anything, maybe with a micro contract, but not with anything big.
Yeah.
And that'll help you. So if you do get on the wrong side, because that was the only thing different outside of what we used to be able to do. If you did get on the wrong side where you could wait and it would eventually revert to the, your side with all this pumping of money, that's not as true as it used to be. Whereas if you got burned and you went long and you just waited a week for it to come back, well, it hasn't come back. So that's the one thing that's changed over the last 2 years between what they're doing right now.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, if you're only swing trading or day trading in the morning for an hour, that's perfect.
Yeah.
In and out.
Yeah.
So as we see, I'll drag over here's the 4 hour, 5 minute. We saw the nice move. This was a nice exit move just to get out in the morning. And now it's continuing right now. And we see right now is the nth column is coming up towards the top. Not hitting that peak yet of the 0.3s, but definitely keep an eye on where it was just take what you can get.
Yeah, we've got an increasing the supply demand and market time RSD. A little bit. It never went negative. Well, it did go negative for a minute at 940, but it's been growing. It's plus 5.12 now. Strength index is up on both the NASDAQ and the NYSE. So,
and we see they're both definitely not one way or the other. Looking at the internals again, where we're starting to take a little bit turn behind, but we'll see if it lasts. But if it starts to play ping pong with the levels here.
Yeah, we're not up at the 70 level
right
on the advanced side, so it's not a strong update, but
it'll be some choppy waters.
Choppy, yep.
Doing good, but finding the spreadsheets seem indecisive for one decision. That's the difference that we've seen from the insurgence of money has definitely changed it. So it's one of those trickier to read.
Yeah, since September of last year, it's really been.
I'll pull that over. So
very true.
We're talking about there too. Yeah. So here you're talking about the nth column levels definitely peaking where we're almost at a -3 here. And here's those two -12s back to back, and we hit a double digits on the UD. But binary trends just all negative. -40 on the oversold, overbought levels. So if we compare that to the last time that we've seen that you were referring to, you have to go way back. So here, normally we saw the ups and downs, right? The flows. We haven't seen that recently since they started all the injections of money. And we'll go back to 2017, which was the last time I saw it go this long. 2018 was pretty close, but they had a few updates in between there. That was that early volatility, absolutely, where we saw the big down hits that Dave was referring to just on the indexes themselves. And then if we go back to 2017, right here was the last time where we had 12 days in a row where it went large negative, right around -40 again. And that was the last time we had over a higher peak, I should say, than we see now. So these are irregular times. Normally it doesn't go that long one way or the other. Just like anything, nothing can go forever. So I could punch in today the numbers right now live if I can see. 29,336 and 96.92. See, we're already coming down. There's a positive right now. That's why we see this movement. Still over a -2, but it's coming down. Everything's coming down. That would be normally what we see is coming down the bell curve and then positives. That's why we had the positive bias to the higher side for this trade setup alert. And for those that haven't seen their emails yet, that are TSA subscribers, we are moving to a Slack channel where that information will be delivered. I started doing both this morning. I saw the couple of guys have moved over and joined the Slack channel. It's just going to be easier, I think, for them to get them. You don't have to log on to the website. You can do it on your phone if you want to. It's got a mobile client for Slack, and just easier to do. So anybody that's in that TSA service, check your emails for the Slack invite for that. And Dave is also doing the same thing for the real-time update service. So we got new Slack channels everywhere for you guys.
Yeah, I like it. I tried to put it on my website too. I tried using the Wise chat. For some reason, it didn't load.
It's not as easy. Yeah, it's finicky.
It's finicky. And then I tried another Ajax chat, and it didn't have the controls I wanted. So Slack is, basically one of the better ones. River was okay, but it was really expensive to maintain. Slack has just as many controls and features on it that it's it's pretty nice.
So Steven's asking, would you arbitrage trade these days or swing trade the advances and dips? I'm doing scalping during the day personally on contracts, and if I see a decent setup, I'll take a morning trade on the VA, but nothing long term that I do there. And looks like he's asking a little bit if he can get some info on the cross column bell curve that we added with the new spreadsheet last year.
Yeah. So the cumulative bell curve and the cross column. The cross column is basically just a running total across all 8 columns, well, all 10 columns. Instead of doing the cumulative is going from day 1 to day 10. So it's an addition of all of the last 10 days. The cross column is the addition of all of the columns straight across on one day. So from the 1st all the way to the 10th.
And that's the ones that are hidden underneath here where we just have the 8th exposed. You can see 1 through 10 are available. You can just unhide them or just move them over so you can see all of those. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a crazy negative trade there. So the NQ is looking really weak today.
Yeah, 2 big drops there for sure.
It's had a good run though.
Yeah, I was just thinking it could be part of taking profits. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that's been holding for a while. Good job. He's been scalping as well. It's safe that way, isn't it? It's nice to be in and out.
Yeah, it's much better to scalp in these markets at this point, anyway.
And just keep an eye on everything for your high level. Here we see we were starting to turn down, but then we're coming right back up to the 10 on the MT oscillators.
Oh, and you got the support, this SR1 and SR2 up there too.
Yeah.
Interesting. We hit the SR. It has a negative bias for the day though, which is interesting. But it hit that SR level and it's bouncing off of it.
And you see the NDX is the only one that hasn't turned back up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
New York did.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely weaker today.
Yep.
And I brought back, I don't know if you caught it earlier. I've been watching all these. I'm going to put together for anybody that doesn't remember. I think I'm going to do little videos for the different indicators that we do have. For anybody that doesn't remember. So I'm also watching, I had one with the ribbon study on it, which is one that you don't want to forget about.
Absolutely.
That helps you as well.
Yeah, look at all that bullish herding on those 10 minutes. I mean, there's no bearish at all.
Yeah.
Really
is just they're just moving it to move it.
Yeah. Just a little bit of manipulation there. Trying to get everybody to sell before they take it higher.
Yep.
Yeah. So we got a couple hundred points to the upside, I think, maybe even to 30,000. I kind of see what it looks like when it gets back up to that previous high from last week. But I think today we're definitely going to end up higher. One of the things we talked about previously was the fact that if the advanced decline and the market internals were all like pretty positive for the day, it's very, very rare for them to reverse course and go the other way after the first half hour, and especially after the first hour of trading. It does happen, but it's pretty rare.
Mm-hmm. And we see this is kind of leveling out here around the 800. So that's on the positive side, and everybody's positive on the UD vols.
Yeah. It has to be a really big news event for it to turn negative. That's why I went long this morning.
And there we go. Now it's going to get on the other side, and this can very well act as support on this pivot. And move on up. It's got room to go. That'll help the spread. Weekend Q, strong YM, just move that spread. It's at a nice 0.23 move on the almost 0.25% on the 4-hour chart there. It's looking good.
Yeah, SD and SD look pretty strong. Yeah, just a little day trade here. Nothing I'm keeping.
And there is not bullish hurting in the first column on the NDX.
Have you been watching BC Backer on YouTube? I think I talked to you about him before, didn't I?
I think I saw one of them, but I haven't watched more since.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I don't know. He's doing not Fibonacci, but he's doing fractals. And he's like, this little pullback that we're having in Bitcoin and XRP, especially XRP, maybe the last chance before it really starts to take off. And I don't know if he's right or not, but I like the analysis that he does. It's BCBACKER on YouTube. Okay. He's got some good videos. And if he's right, I mean, I think he did a video the other day where he had one scenario where XRP was going to be at $26 by June. So, but you never know. I mean, I laugh about it because, I think everybody's so skeptical that any of the digital assets are going to move higher, but there's been a lot of good news recently. One of the interesting pieces of news that came out yesterday was a press release saying Bank of America was now using RippleNet and ODL. Well, it didn't say ODL, but later on it looked like there was some confirmation that they were going to use their on-demand liquidity product using XRP. So those rumors started flying around yesterday. Of course, what did XRP do? It just went down like crazy, which is a good opportunity because I ended up buying more this morning and yesterday.
Sure, absolutely.
But he's got, if that turns out to be true and they do ramp up the volume, that'd be amazing. They're already using, I believe it was MoneyGram. MoneyGram did $54 million a week, is doing $54 million a week between the US and the Mexico corridor using XRP. So it's going to be big. And they're growing at about 15% week over week, which is amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was I almost fell over when I was on my trip, since I check, at least once a day to see what it's doing.
Yeah.
I'll show you guys this. This is hilarious.
Yeah, that is funny.
So I just pull up, where did it save?
I had to do a double take on that screenshot you sent me too.
So I'm just pulling up on my phone, Coinbase, XRP, what's it doing? I'll check a couple times a day, whatever, just to see where it's going. And I land in Cancun and I hit this and I see it's at $6. I'm like, what happened? I was like, oh, it defaulted to showing me the Mexican peso just because of my location. So it was trading at 30 cents and I thought it was at $6 something. I'm like, sell it.
That would be pretty funny if that did happen while you were on vacation.
Oh, that'd be just my luck too. Like I wouldn't have access to something.
Well, my wife tells me that we go to auctions once in a while, and my wife always tells me we wait the entire auction. I mean, for one item or two items to come up, and they always come up when I'm in the bathroom. So, it's kind of my. I don't know what's happened. I don't know what's going to happen when XRP goes up to $100, but I'll probably be in the bathroom.
One way or another, you will be.
Yeah. But also yesterday, Digital Asset Investor had a really good video. If you haven't seen it yet, look at the ones he did yesterday. I think it was the one where it says XRP is at 45 cents. On the XRP website, there is a single page dedicated to XRP. And if you scroll down to it, it actually did say that XRP price today was 45.6 cents or something. Interesting. Yeah. And they quickly, and he refreshed the page a couple of times and stuff like that. Some of the developers are making the excuse that it was a technical glitch or something like that. How many times I gotta believe that they are starting to add in some of the SBI volume and pricing, and they're testing out the APIs or something, and that's the reason for it. But we'll see. Yeah, they can only use the word glitch so many times, right? Yeah, I know. It's like that's getting really kind of worn out. It's happened before. Right. Steven's got a quick question here. Looks like he's talking about the double -12. Yeah, absolutely. So whenever you see the doubles, that's a good potential for it's the end of that move. Mm-hmm. Whether that's on the bottom or the top side. Yeah, it doesn't always happen, but yeah, it adds a little bit higher probability. Instead of it going more negative, it could be this is where we're stopping and going down. Exactly. That's all the way I look at that, Stephen. So it's not, and just like anything, right? It's no one thing. We're taking all these pieces into the picture. So this one thing kind of tells me we might be going positive because we've ran out of gas here. Right. That's how I look at that. Yeah, you can absolutely wait for the drop. Like if this is where we finish and you say, yep, we had a positive day finally. Look, first column went to a 1. If these numbers are close to where we close, you could absolutely have more confidence in a longer trade for the next setup day as well, where we might go down to, so this is only a nice little stair step down, 12 to a 3, or excuse me, 12 to a 9, which is just 3 different changes or 3 number change. You don't want to see a massive drop. You want to see it slowly going down. So this would be a nice setup if this is where we close. Yeah, let's take a look at that trend too, the price trend. 1298 was the last full day. Yeah, watch this. Yeah. Holy cow! Right off the cliff. Look at that, a waterfall. Let's see, what day am I at? 1296. So we'll add 2 more days since last week. And yeah, look at that. It's right. Yeah, overnight. Overnight it was at 3. I'm sure. Yep, for sure. So that's part of also what played into the long spread bias. Yeah, the one in the first column is what you want to see for if we're going to have a change in direction. That's very important. Like here we saw the ones filling in and we had positive days, but then it didn't last. So if they don't last, it's much weaker of a possibility. Once they fill in, then it's good. But if it doesn't last, it's not going to continue, which is why we haven't seen the positive continue. Yeah, that first column is really important. We need to see that fill out. And that cross column bell curve, I don't think it's ever been like, I mean, it hasn't been that high in a really long time. The OBOS, look at that, it's in the 30s,
Right. It hit
40s. Holy cow. Wow.
Talking about the row on the previous day. Oh, you mean here? Where this one wasn't? So this is how we started today?
Yep. Yeah, that's how we started.
The day that's dated 1/00.
I mean, one of the things that you could do if you wanted to take a longer term, if you think this is the bottom of the bell curve of the VA spread, if you think this is the bottom, and typically those round numbers like around 3 and 4 and 3.5 can be. I'm not saying they are, but if you wanted to take a lower risk rather than going into the futures market, you could take a couple of option spreads. So you could be long a YM in the money option, or along the DIA rather, in the money option, and a maybe what was the ratio that we came up with recently? The ratio has changed.
I believe it was 4 to 5, so 4 or 5 to 4.
Okay.
4 to 5, one of those two. I forget. It's in here. I'll look right here. I don't have to guess.
Contract size.
It's on this tab.
Yeah, you got it.
Yep. 5 to 4. Yep, there you go.
So you're going to go. You should do that for the diamonds. Well, no, the diamonds are a little different, but yeah, at least for the futures contracts. But you could do that for. You could do that with options instead.
Yeah, so you could go exactly. You could
do long 5 MYM to 4 MNQs.
Right.
Short the MNQs. So the Qs and the diamonds. Do it with options instead. Maybe even start out with a 2 and 3 or something like that, or a 1 and 2 if you don't want to take a lot of risk.
Right.
Your ratios won't be perfect, but what we found is that most of the profits come on the NQ side. So the Dow is this kind of stabilizer, but if we know the Dow can hold value and the NQ is more volatile, the NQ, if we do go into a decline, is going to decline faster than the Dow. They might both go down together, but the NQ will go down faster. So you'd want to be short. You want to be on the put side of that QQQ, long on the DIA, or short on the DIA as well, but the QQQ is going to go down a lot faster.
Looks like, right? Yeah, absolutely. I think that's helping. Looks like Steven might have a problem with the spreadsheet. So what you can do, Steven, is you can go and download Fridays up to last week and then just put in 2 days or 3 days, whatever, right here, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Obviously, this is just me intraday, so that's not actually there yet. So if you have something that says 1900 over here, you probably just haven't put in your dates for this week yet. So this won't populate over here until this date is updated. And we just ignore this line while you're looking at it. Oh, because I have a number in there. That's why it got goofed up. There we go. So yeah, after tomorrow close, I'll update it again for this week. That'll be in the download section. But yeah, if you got funny numbers going on, definitely grab the latest one up there. But this is only 2 days. You can just put in these 2 days from the one that's in the site right now that you can download. That should help you out if you got a funny one. And Charles is awfully quiet because Steven's taking all the cool comments, so he's getting his money's worth today. There we see. Yep, it's just slowly but surely chugging up. You got a target on your MYM, or are you just going to move your stop up?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm probably going to hold it to the end of the day. I don't really have a target. I think it's probably, let me take a quick look. I'm just kind of enjoying it move higher here, but
no pressure.
Probably right around that 29,394 level, another 50 points. So it's up around 60 or so, because that high was from the 19th, which was yesterday's high. right around 29,397 or so.
There you go. Anything before this 29,420 is definitely good to get out
There you
before
go.
it gets up there.
Yep, 397. I'm calling it.
That's perfect too, right before, because there's going to be people lined up at 400.
Yep.
All right, gentlemen. It's been a fun day back. Any last questions before we wrap up for this week?
Yeah, I got a question.
You got a question?
Yeah.
This'll be
You
good.
got some time tomorrow to chat?
I absolutely do.
All right, good. Let's talk.
Look at Mike quick. Oh, and I'll be talking to you later, but I'll probably mostly be silent. But if either you guys or if anyone's in that the wealth class, we got the first update for the month this week, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, 1:00 today. Absolutely. Got some good. We're going to build a long-term investment portfolio on the dividend side today. So we've got 4 potential candidates.
Sweet.
Yeah. One is paying like 12%. Pretty awesome.
Downloaded the new spreadsheet, which is updated once a week. Yes, exactly. I updated to after the Fridays. This last weekend, I didn't put it up until Monday since I was in Mexico on Friday. So this was the one rarity where it wasn't up on Friday after the close. But yeah, so it's typically updated every Friday around 4 o'clock or so my time, which is central.
Perfect. Yeah, so I think we're going to move higher. Watch that level on the Dow that I mentioned. We'll do that again. It's at 29,568. Take a look at that.
Yeah, keep your eye out. Always keep your ear to the up. We've got it broke above SR1, but look, NDX is not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it's just now starting to possibly make a turn on the oscillator. So it took a little bit longer. It's lagging right now compared to the Dow.
Yeah, it's starting to turn up a little bit there. So yeah, we'll probably end up higher on. I don't know if we'll go positive on the NDX, but we'll. It's only got 15 points to go though. We'll see.
Right on.
Perfect.
All right, guys. Any questions in the meantime? You can always email us, support@tradingology.com, and we'll get in your questions if you got them. Then we'll look forward to seeing you again next week.
Absolutely. See you guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Tuesday, Dan.
Sounds good.
Well, I'll talk to you this afternoon. Yeah, I'll talk to you this afternoon and tomorrow.
All right,
for the rest of you guys, we'll see you Tuesday.
You got it. Have a good day, everyone.
Yep. Bye.
Bye-bye.